What if I told you that one artist has become so dominant in fan voting that people are starting to treat first place as his permanent address? Not for a few weeks, not for a few months, not even for a single year. We're talking about a streak that has survived changing trends, new debuts, major comebacks, and countless challenges from some of the biggest names in K-pop. A streak so unbelievable that if someone had predicted it years ago, many fans probably would have laughed. And yet, here we are. Because BTS's Jin has just achieved something extraordinary once again. A 25th consecutive #1 finish on the one-pick chart. 25 straight victories. 25 times in a row. And perhaps the most fascinating question isn't how he won, it's why he keeps winning. What is it about Jin that continues to inspire millions of people around the world to support him year after year? What kind of connection exists between an artist and his fans to create this level of loyalty? Today, we're diving into the incredible story behind Jin's latest milestone, the records that continue to grow, and why fans believe he represents something increasingly rare in modern entertainment. And trust me, the deeper you look into these numbers, the more astonishing they become. Because this isn't simply a story about popularity, it's a story about trust, connection, consistency, and a star who somehow keeps exceeding expectations. Let's begin. The latest results from the one-pick chart revealed that Jin once again claimed first place in the K-pop solo category. For many artists, reaching #1 even once would be a career highlight. Fans would celebrate, news outlets would report it, memories would be made. But Jin isn't celebrating a first-place finish. He's celebrating his 25th consecutive first-place finish. Read that again. 25 consecutive victories. The word consecutive is what makes this achievement truly remarkable. Anyone can have a great week. Anyone can benefit from a successful comeback. Anyone can experience a temporary surge in popularity. But maintaining the top position over and over and over again, that's something completely different. That requires a fan base that never stops showing up. A fan base that remains dedicated regardless of circumstances. A fan base that continues to believe. And that's exactly what Jin has built. According to the chart results, Jin secured an impressive 41.85% combined vote share. The ranking was determined through a combination of monthly votes and one-pick chart votes, making it an important measure of fan support. Yet the numbers themselves only tell part of the story. Because behind every vote is a person. Someone who took time out of their day to support him. Someone who wanted their voice counted. Someone who felt that Jin deserved to be recognized. Multiply that by thousands upon thousands of people around the world, and suddenly these achievements start to feel much bigger than statistics. They become evidence of a relationship between an artist and millions of fans. And if you think this latest accomplishment sounds impressive, the next record might leave you speechless. Because Jin has now ranked #1 in the My One Pick K-pop individual weekly ranking for an astonishing 117 consecutive weeks. 117. Let's put that into perspective. More than 2 years, over 700 days, thousands of hours. During that time, the entertainment industry never stopped moving. New groups debuted, hit songs climbed the charts, global tours were announced, social media trends exploded and disappeared. Entire promotional cycles came and went. But through all of that change, one thing remained constant. Jin stayed at #1. That kind of consistency is almost unheard of. Because maintaining attention is difficult. Maintaining affection is even harder. And maintaining both for years is something only a handful of artists ever achieve. Yet somehow Jin continues doing exactly that. As if the weekly ranking wasn't enough, his monthly dominance is equally extraordinary. Jin has now remained #1 in the monthly rankings for 28 consecutive months, nearly 2.5 years. Think about how much life changes in 2.5 years. People move, people graduate, people change jobs, entire trends rise and fall. Yet month after month, fans continue returning to support Jin, not because they have to, because they want to. And that's what makes this achievement so meaningful. You can't force loyalty. You can't manufacture genuine affection. You earn it. And judging by these numbers, Jin has earned an incredible amount of it. But perhaps the most emotional moment came from a special themed fan vote. The question asked was simple: which star is unbelievably perfect? Now that's a bold question. Perfection is a difficult standard. Every celebrity has strengths. Every celebrity has weaknesses. No one is truly perfect. And yet, when fans were asked which star came closest to that ideal, they overwhelmingly chose Jin. He received 133,692 votes, an incredible 61% of the total. More than half of all participating voters selected his name. The result was so overwhelming that a special reward advertisement was displayed at Seoul's COEX landmark building. For several days, fans walking through one of Korea's most famous locations could see a public celebration of Jin's achievement. Imagine how that must have felt. To know that your support helped create something visible for the world to see. To know that your favorite artist was being celebrated on such a large scale. Moments like that aren't just victories, they're memories. They're emotional milestones shared between fans and artists. And maybe that's why the question of perfection resonated so strongly. Because when fans describe Jin, they rarely focus on just one quality. Instead, they talk about a complete package. First, there's his visual appeal. For years, Jin has been praised for his striking features. His appearance has become so famous that stories about his visuals have circulated across the globe. Many fans remember the first time they saw him and immediately understood why people called him handsome. But physical appearance alone doesn't create lasting admiration. If it did, every attractive celebrity would enjoy the same level of devotion. The truth is that fans see much more than that. They hear the voice, a voice capable of delivering both power and vulnerability. A voice that can fill a stadium and then moments later sound intimate enough to feel like a personal conversation. Whether performing emotional ballads or uplifting anthems, Jin has a gift for making listeners feel something genuine. And in music, that emotional connection matters more than anything. Then there's his live performance ability. The pressure of performing live is immense. Every note matters, every moment is examined, every performance is discussed. Yet year after year, Jin continues earning praise for his professionalism and stability on stage. Fans trust him, and trust is one of the most valuable things an artist can have. But perhaps the quality fans cherish most isn't something that can be measured by charts or awards. It's his character, the person behind the celebrity. Because whenever people talk about Jin, one theme appears again and again: warmth. Fans describe him as kind, thoughtful, considerate. Someone who never forgets the people supporting him. Someone who consistently communicates with fans in ways that feel sincere rather than obligatory. And in an industry where schedules can become overwhelming and interactions can sometimes feel distant, that sincerity stands out. People remember how someone makes them feel. And Jin has spent years making fans feel appreciated. That's powerful. Very powerful. Then there is his humor. The side of Jin that can instantly transform a serious atmosphere into one filled with laughter. The side that isn't afraid to be playful. The side that reminds everyone that even global superstars can be relatable. Those moments matter because they make fans feel closer to him, not because he seems larger than life, but because he feels human. And perhaps that's the secret behind all of these records. Jin possesses a rare balance. He can appear like a superstar on stage and a friend off stage. He can be elegant one moment and hilarious the next. He can inspire admiration while also creating comfort. Very few artists manage to achieve both, yet somehow, Jin does. And that's why these numbers continue growing. Not because fans are simply supporting a celebrity. They're supporting someone whose music, personality, and presence have become meaningful parts of their lives. That's why week after week they continue voting. That's why month after month they continue showing up. That's why record after record continues falling. Because this story was never just about rankings. It's about connection. A connection strong enough to survive years. Strong enough to cross borders, strong enough to turn admiration into unwavering loyalty. And now with 25 consecutive #1 finishes, 117 consecutive weeks at the top, and 28 consecutive months of dominance, Jin's legacy continues to grow. The question is no longer whether he's one of the most beloved artists in K-pop. The numbers have already answered that. The real question is, where does the streak end? Will it stop at 25, 30, 40, 50? No one knows. But one thing seems certain. Every time people think the record has reached its limit, Jin finds a way to push it even further. And that's exactly why millions of fans continue watching, because history may already be unfolding right in front of us. One vote, one milestone, one record at a time. What do you think is the biggest reason behind Jin's incredible popularity and long-lasting success? Is it his voice, his personality, his visuals, his connection with fans, or is it the combination of all of them together? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring stories from the world of K-pop. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.